Hey, welcome back to part 3 of my series of how to hold the bass while seated on a stool. Part 1 went over how to hold the bass comfortably, just holding the instrument. Part 2 was about using the bow. In this video, we're going to talk primarily about the left hand. Just a quick review, and you may want to click back and see those other videos if you haven't already. Pick a stool where your right leg can comfortably reach the floor with your foot flat on the floor and a little bit of bend in your knee, at least a little bit. Your left leg, here we go, goes up on the second rung of your stool so that the top of your leg is parallel to the floor. I strongly recommend using an end pin anchor if you're sitting on a stool rather than using a regular rock stop. Set your end pin height and distance away from the stool so that if you start with your arm straight and your hand over this part of the instrument, that the bass is standing pretty much straight up and down. Lean it back over your shoulder into your lap. Your bow should comfortably reach to the bow line or to lane 3, the spot halfway between the bridge and the fingerboard, with your elbow relaxed and without having to dip your shoulder. A similarity to the way the left hand works and to the way the bow works. When you use your bow, you relax and let your arm hang off of the bow with the weight of your arm sinking into the string just by gravity. You don't want to reach up and push. Similarly, with a French bow, hanging off the stick, the weight of your arm coming in by gravity, you don't want to reach up and push. You want to hang and let the weight of your arm go into the string. When you get your left hand set up, start by just relaxing your arm. You can see that my arm is just relaxed. I'm going to shake it out. I'm going to let my fingers relax. I'm going to bring my arm up to the side. I'm going to make a shape in my left hand, kind of like a C, or like I'm holding a soda can. This is a very common analogy that people use, that you're going to hold a soda can in your left hand. With your arm about to right here, you're going to bring your arm over to the bass. Fingers along the D string is as good a place to start as any. The thumb around the back of the neck. The position of the thumb around the back of the neck is really, really critical. A lot of people will take their thumb and wrap it all the way around the back of the neck so that it reaches over here, and they're going to play like this. You will always be out of tune if your thumb comes all the way around the back of the neck. Your fingers can't spread. You won't be able to reach from an E to an F sharp. Your whole steps will be just forever out of tune. The tip of your thumb goes right in the center. I'll turn around so you can see this. There's a line right down the center of the neck, an imaginary line there. Your thumb goes right on the center of it. You want a little bit of flexibility in your thumb. You don't want to press in and get it flattened out like this. You want to keep your thumb relaxed. A little bit of flexibility right there, right on the center of the top of the curve, right in the middle of the neck. That is really, really important. So I'm going to reach my arm out. I'm going to make a soda can shape. I'm going to bring my thumb to the center of the back of the neck. I'm going to line my fingers up so that all 4 of my fingers are touching on the D string. My thumb should be roughly behind my second finger. Some people like to bring it up a little bit, so it's maybe in between the first and second finger. I think that's okay. Everybody's hand is a little bit different, but you want it somewhere in this neighborhood. Most people go behind the second finger. You'd be a little higher than that, and it's okay. Never like this. This is a huge problem. People do the thumbs up. You've got to keep it open. You've got to keep a space right here by the side of the neck. Sometimes you see people do this. I call this doing the dead spider, where they clamp these knuckles here up against the side of the neck and squeeze. Keep that open, keep that round, keep the thumb behind your second finger. Some people will do this, doing the thumbs up. This is all kinds of bad, and it closes up this space. Bring the thumb down behind the second finger, opens the space right there. And you've got a nice curved approach to the string with your fingertips touching on the string. You don't want to come in flat-fingered like this with your knuckles bending backwards. This one also is a huge problem. Come in more on your fingertips Every knuckle curved. Never flattened out, never bent the wrong way, always curved. Really, really important. If you're approaching the instrument the right way with your left hand, you shouldn't have to squeeze very hard or at all to get the strings to be pressed down. Your thumb is back here for support. Your thumb is not there to squeeze against the instrument. Now, some student level instruments aren't set up very well, and the distance from the fingerboard to the strings is really, really large. If you got a lot of distance there, you may want to take it to a local shop and see if you can have your bridge cut down or sometimes your nut cut down, but make sure you go to a good professional luthier if you need to have your bass adjusted. You shouldn't take any strength to push your strings down. Let's say I want to play a D scale. I'm touching the back of the neck with my thumb, but I could very easily do that without my thumb. No thumb, don't need it. What am I using to keep my strings down? I'm using the weight of my arm. I'm relaxing my arm, I'm hanging off of my fingertips, not the flat part of the finger with my knuckles bent backwards, off my fingertips, hanging, just relaxing my arm. There's plenty of strength in gravity or in my large trapezius muscle, which goes from right here on top of your shoulder back behind your shoulder blade. Use that big muscle, use gravity. Pull back a little bit on the string until it touches the fingerboard. You don't want to flatten your fingers out. You don't want to get like this. You don't want to grab like this. Thumb around the back, touching the back of the neck lightly. Fingers curved on the tips. A little bit of strength from that big muscle in the back holds down the string with a little pull this way, and you shouldn't need hardly any muscle at all to get those strings pushed down. Big problem is people squeezing, and then you get this problem I was talking about before where the thumb flattens out and you lose flexibility, you lose the ability to shift quickly. By not using your thumb, you can release, you can shift, you can grab the string. You can cross over, you can release, you can shift, you can grab the string. As soon as you start squeezing with your thumb or doing the thumbs up or the dead spider or wrapping around like this, your whole step doesn't reach far enough. Your shifting becomes impacted because you can't slide easily along the string. Very important when you shift that your thumb moves with the hand. Again, I'll turn this sideways so you can see when I go to make a shift, my thumb and hand are always going to move together. This is a big problem. You start out good in first position, but you make a shift, you end up in the thumbs up. When you shift, the hand position has to stay solid. The thumb stays with the fingers. Very, very important. I think that covers most of the things. Oh, there is one more thing about the elbow. This is very important. When you bring your arm in, you want to make sure that your wrist stays straight. How high should your elbow be? This is a big problem. See how I've got a break here in my wrist. I want my elbow to be up enough so that my wrist is straight. No more. I don't want my elbow up here so that I have tension in my shoulder. I want to stay relaxed right here. My elbow is up just enough so that it keeps my wrist straight. This is bad. This is good. This is bad again. This is good. When you raise your elbow from this muscle right here at the top of your arm, that's the muscle. You flap your chicken wing. Sometimes I'll tell my students, flap your chicken wing. It's not from here. It's from here. This big muscle stays relaxed, and you use your large muscles to pull against the instrument, hold down the strings instead of squeezing. Thumb in the center of the back of the neck. Hand position stays steady while you're shifting. Always some space right here. Those I think are the most important things about getting your left hand on the instrument. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you found this video helpful, please like the video, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel.